Good evening and welcome to the August 3 Historic Preservation Board. I'm Tom Combs, I'm the chairperson. So I'll call the meeting to order here at 5:31. Our agenda is pretty light tonight. Just had a couple of informational items. So let's start by asking for approval of the minutes from the July meeting. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I second.
Second. Any comments, additions, changes? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll jump right into the informational items. The first being the Clark House. I guess first, just to apologize, we didn't get those drawings until late yesterday afternoon, so I hope you all had a chance to look at them, and we'll go through them in some detail tonight. But Bergman delayed. They had wanted to run them by Barrow, which we, of course, I think we appreciate that they're doing that. But we didn't have time to look at them amongst ourselves. So we have, I think all of you have in front of you the three drawings that were submitted. And I have, and I know Shannon has too, the list of the changes that were made based on the last set of discussions that we had and the town personnel had with Bergman going back now a couple of months. So if we could, it's up there, the first one, which has the floor plan on the left and then some two-dimensional drawings on the right-hand side. I think there's not a lot to note from the floor plan, but one important thing is where we had recommended that we shift those, the outside restrooms, the outside access restrooms, to allow for greater separation from the house. And they did that and also then moved the entranceway and the kitchen a little bit to the north. That was, I think, the only, well, they had another change. The entranceway, the southernmost entranceway onto the patio is now lined up with the front door. We hadn't noticed anything about that, but apparently they did when they reviewed it. So that was a little bit of a change. And anybody notice anything other than that?
Yeah, they added the dormer, right, on the one side, or was that there?
No, are we talking about
We're just
elevations or?
No,
Just
I was
about the
talking
floor
about
plan.
The floor plan.
Oh,
okay,
For
no.
now, we'll get into all these other changes right now. I think it's probably, the two-dimensional drawings, I don't think tell us an awful lot. So maybe we jump right into the second one.
So just ahead of time, the only difference between the second and the third rendering is just the color of the exterior siding that is being proposed on that section there with the bathrooms and then that other entryway there. So if you can see just my quickly toggling back and forth between the two, you can see the only difference is the white siding or the darker colored siding there. So that's the only difference between the two.
I don't see it. It
So
was
right-
white before and then you clicked on it and became dark.
Sorry, so that's the only difference between the second and the third rendering in your packet. So this is the white.
Okay.
Got the white here, and then if I toggle back,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the,
So
it's the
they're-
darker color.
They're giving us two choices?
Correct. So that's the only difference between those two renderings, just so we know ahead of time.
And what
It's-
color
it's-
is the dark?
Does everyone see that, and have you noted it? So as long as Shannon's brought it up, why don't we talk about that? Maybe it's out of order, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the last one that they talk about, F, in like the breakdown there, Tom.
Do we have any comments about the color? It's white versus, they haven't said if it's black or gray.
It's
or
listed as a dark gray.
dark gray. Any comments, any feelings from the board about that, about the color?
I would go with white.
That was my first impression too, that the white looked better than the dark, but
So the description that they presented, Bergman and Barrow together, so the siding on the low roof connector / transition piece of the addition was changed to be horizontal siding. We are showing two color options. The first option, as recommended by Barrow Architecture, is to have the dark gray siding on all spaces under the flat roof, which includes the connector piece and the back house spaces, the bathrooms, prep room, and kitchen. As you'll see in the 3D images, the approach envelops the flat roof area in a shadow line, which emphasizes a separation between the Clark House and the new event space.
That will be shown much clearer if you click on the white version, and you will see that connection is still dark.
yes. And
So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about this connecting piece that will be all in dark siding, and it will visually separate the existing house from the new addition,
That's correct.
which I think is a very good idea.
Yes, and I think we all agreed at the last meeting that to have that slight change in color just on that portion with the passageway there was a good idea. We like that.
I think the dark color makes it less obvious, like it doesn't stand out as much against the Alpheus Clark house itself.
I think that was the intention.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, were you thinking of the entire gray part, if you will? Can we bring that?
What's shown on the A2.1, it doesn't stand out as much, so it kind of lets the Clark house itself stand out more.
So you like the idea of that entire piece being the dark gray, not just the passageway between the house and...
Yeah, I think I like that one, but.
Can I go back? Is that what Barrow said?
Yes, Barrow did recommend, so Barrow's recommendation is the dark gray siding. But of course,
On connection or on the addition?
on the addition. So the connection is not, they have that as the darker piece on both options. Of course, if you guys have opinions on it, we can relay that. But they're talking about the addition. So the dark gray siding or the white siding is what they're showing the two differences. So here's the dark gray.
Right, but we
And then
don't
this
have
is
an
the white.
elevation in dark gray for the front elevation. What would it look like in dark gray? Do we have that?
That's a good question,
So you
Mira.
won't, it's just that front piece. It's not white siding around the whole building.
I don't understand. Where is dark, where is white?
So if you look at the sheets, I think it's probably easier to see if you look at the physical ones in front of you, because the screen's kind of small. So if you look at A21, which is the second sheet in your packet, you see that portion right in the middle. So we have the entryway, the glass entryway. Immediately to the left of that, you see the dark gray there. So
Yeah.
you have the windows,
Correct.
the two doors.
Yeah.
So then it's only the dark gray on the front. It's not on the back.
But with the second option, with dark siding on the addition, what will happen to the right of the entrance?
So they're keeping the rest of it white. They're just showing that this section,
So where will the dark siding end?
right where it shows.
the entranceway.
So it goes from the entranceway to the public bathrooms, just like how it shows. So it's not on the back side at all. And then if you flip to the next page, you can see that the whole thing is white.
Yeah, but the second view, number 2, for the rear elevation, shows dark siding on the addition. Is that what Bureau recommended?
Or is that shadows, you think, or is that
I don't,
dark?
yeah, I,
It's just a shadow. So
no,
it's,
this.
yeah, that's the only dark gray part that they're suggesting.
No, that doesn't make sense to me.
So there's 3 sides to this addition. And the side with the two small doors and the glass entrance all the way to the end, the north side of it, that's gray, or dark gray.
But it's just from the glass entryway to the left. It's not that whole front, it's not the whole facade.
That's
And
just
then
shadow.
go down to number 3,
So you-
that's white.
Yep.
Okay.
That's just their proposals. If
Well,
we
no,
have suggestions
but-
either way.
Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm being really slow here. In the dark siding version, the front facade to the left of the connecting link will be white or dark?
To the left of the entranceway?
If you look at the third, not entranceway, of the connecting link, it's shown all light.
Yeah, so this is the white one. So this is the one where it's all white.
Okay, can you please click to the
Yep,
dark version?
This is the dark one.
Yes, but go down to the third. That's the front facade, right?
No, this is well, I don't know, I guess I don't know what we're calling the front and the back of it.
That's the west side.
That's what I've been calling the back because it's not the
faces the
part that
park.
you see from the part that you see from the road is what I'm calling the front.
Okay, doesn't matter. Where the canopy is,
Right,
with the entrance door.
yes.
This whole facade is white.
Yep,
Is that how it's going to be in the dark version?
yes.
So where does this white end and dark start? Okay, I guess it's probably easier for me to understand. Is only the roof over this, walls around this dark?
Yeah, here, I'll pull that up. That
Okay.
might be easier. Okay, so if we're looking at the floor plan, only this section, the prep kitchen, the prep room, and the public restrooms, that was what will have the dark siding.
Okay, but the addition itself will have white siding.
Correct.
Okay, that was not what you said before.
Okay, that's
Okay, that
that's
makes a
just what,
difference.
that's what they're proposing.
Okay, then I am for it.
And of course, if you guys have suggestions on whether or not the dark siding should be more, less, whatever it is, that is totally, in your purview. This is just what they're presenting. We don't have to pick one or the other.
Well,
I guess my feeling is that if you look at what you're calling the front, which is the east side, that to see this side's all white and that side's all dark, to me, looks odd.
No, Tom, it's only the first-story flat roof additions are dark. So the idea is that the secondary spaces will have dark siding, but the main house of the addition, which is the main space, will have white siding.
That's not what the picture's showing us.
Well, that's why I kept asking, because it's not clear from these pictures, just because the viewpoint isn't
Yeah,
from there.
so if we look at the floor plan again,
Like, if I could point, I would explain.
Yeah,
Can
so-
you just take your cursor and take
yes, so
around?
if we look at the floor plan, it's just this section. So it's the prep kitchen, the prep room, and the public restrooms. That is the section that would have the dark siding.
This is dark, that's one. Right. Okay.
It's just the area that's to the left of the entryway here. Just this little section that kind of bumps out, like Mira said, the secondary.
And they are lower than the main house. So the wall of the main house will be above them, will still be white. And that's what's not clear in
Right,
in the
so
rendering.
The angles of the rendering make it a little difficult to tell.
Shannon, why wouldn't everything in the addition either be light or dark?
So I think the intention is that the dark portion are like the secondary spaces, like Mira was saying. So it's the prep kitchen, the storage, and the public restrooms. They're not things that you want to draw attention to, which is why they're the darker colors. So like how you said at first, you don't really see it, right? It doesn't stand out at you. So It's basically a historic preservation tool so that you don't notice the things that don't matter, because the public doesn't care about those. And when you first look at it and you're like, oh, well, it's just a dark space. I'm not going to look at that. You're going to look at the white space. That's what your eye is going to be drawn to. That's the intention behind it. But if it's not working and you guys like all white, that's okay too.
Well, I like that idea. I also think that the revisions that they did to the facade of the building is very positive. It looks very natural, and they differentiate the new building from existing by the style, not by the color. The style of the windows, the style of the dormers. It looks very organic to me now.
Okay, well, we were going to get to those, but
I'm sorry.
any other comments on the color?
I would vote for the entire addition to be the darker color.
The entire addition, so even to the north of the entranceway.
Correct.
It will make it look much more prevalent than existing house because it's so big. Because of the scale of the addition, if you make it dark, it will look like the main building. I mean, it would stand out.
If the main building is white, then doing the addition as dark, I think it would separate it. So your eye is drawn to the lighter color, and we want your eye to be drawn to the Clark House, not the meeting room.
Well, we have a variety of opinions about that.
Yeah, again, I may respectfully disagree. If you paint the house or anything in the house, if you paint small area dark, it disappears. If you paint large area dark, it becomes bigger. It looks bigger than it is. That's just how people see it. So that's what I mean when I say that if the whole addition, which is by size bigger than the main house, is darker, it will overwhelm the main house.
Well, we need to have some consensus, not necessarily unanimity, but we need some consensus on what we're agreeable to.
I drove out to Canandaigua to see the bank that you showed us pictures of, and I love the property. I mean, I think they did a great job, but I guess the property kind of supports what Mira's saying right now, because that red barn is what you see first.
Yeah.
And you see the house second. I mean, I know this isn't red, but the big red barn is what catches your eye. And then you see how cool the house is. But I wouldn't have thought of it before, but seeing it was a difference. Now, that being said, this is gray, so I don't know if that would be I assume that would be the same, but I don't know.
Another point that I want to make, they did run it by Bureau, and Bureau Associates are experts in historical architecture, and that's what they proposed to do, and I really respect what they proposed.
Well, can we live with that version A 2.1? And if so, how dark of a siding? I think this drawing makes it look kind of black, which I think feels too dark to me.
It's also a little hard to tell because you don't have the contrast of the greenery in the background. It's set in a park, so it's going to be offset by a colorful green background too. So it's renderings only do so much without the context of the site. So they're a little misleading sometimes.
Normally, we would ask for samples of the paint so that we could see the true color.
Right, we can do that too. We can ask for samples. This isn't, as far as the design and getting things going, the color of the siding isn't something that needs to be decided right this second.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is just conceptual, right? So we don't have to delay them if.
No, because
No,
they're
for
not going to
sure.
be ordering the siding before
Yeah.
we approve the building plans. So it is something that can we can have an opinion on right now, and then we can get the samples and make a final decision later, if everyone's open to that.
All right, if that's okay with everyone, I think let's proceed in that fashion, and ask for some colors, or I guess it's not colors so much as shades of gray. Now, on to the next ones that, Mira, you've already touched on a couple, and they're sort of the same issue with respect to the mass of the building, and obviously they've lowered the pitch of the roof, and they've also left the dormers in, which I thought they said they wouldn't be able to do on the lower pitch, but they're obviously lower dormers as well. Comments about that? In my view was I felt it did cut down the view of the mass of the building significantly.
Yeah, so the information from Bergman for the proposed addition roof says, we coordinated with Jennifer from Barrow on a few different roof design options in consideration of what design would be most appropriate, both to support the new addition and respect the existing Clark House. As a team, we decided to include a roof on the addition at a lower slope than the existing Clark House, which reduces the roof mass as compared to our previous designs. 5 dormers remain in the new roof design, strategically placed in coordination with the exterior window locations, the entry lobby roof, and the patio roof.
Any comments about that? Plus, good, bad, indifferent?
I think it's a positive change. I like it. I like the dormers seem lower also, kind of more fit with the slope of the roof, so.
Other comments? Any concerns with that? All right, then we'll move along to the windows, which, Mira, you also mentioned those. We had commented that they looked in the previous drawings like they were sort of mimicking the windows of the house, and that it needed some differentiation, which they've done.
Yeah, so they removed the shutters from the new windows, added trim board around the new exterior windows. The exterior window layout continues to emphasize the views of the park to the north and the west, per the direction of the town board.
Comments?
I already made my comment.
Is everyone pleased with that change? I think it was responsive to us. Okay. Shannon, I think the last one is the Fieldstone addition?
Yes, so the note from Bergman is we changed the fieldstone on the addition, fireplace, and patio wall to be a more linear style, to be distinctly different than the existing fieldstone on the Clark House. So that's a little bit more difficult to tell from the renderings. So it looks, it basically, here, I can actually show you guys the original. That might be more helpful. So this is what the fieldstone looked like. That was the proposed fieldstone originally, kind of like the circular shapes. And then this is what they're now proposing. Is more of this like linear. And that's going to be on the chimney and the patio.
I think the original intent was to make that wall look like the foundation of the old house, which is a variety of different shapes of stone like you'd see in any of the old houses around town. And so this just changes that look.
I was curious, and I don't remember from being the site visit, doesn't the existing house have foundation wall exposed?
Some, yes.
Because it's not really shown in the rendering. And my thought was that would tie in somehow with the stonework that was exposed on the house.
Yeah, so that was the original intention. The renderings don't show the fieldstone in real life. You can see it a bit at the bottom of the foundation there. But, so the original proposal was to have the fieldstone be similar and match. So the original foundation and then the new fieldstone would be really similar. So they're proposing that they would be different to differentiate between the existing fieldstone.
No, I get that. I think that's a good idea, but I just was wondering what happened to the exposed part on the original house.
It's still there. They just didn't render it.
It's not there, okay.
Yeah, they just
it's
didn't,
just
they
there,
just
but it's
didn't,
not.
Just the drawing.
right. It is there. They just didn't draw it in.
Gotcha.
Okay, that covers the changes that were made, and in all cases, with maybe the one exception of that larger gray area on the east wall, they've addressed all of the concerns or comments that we brought up to them. I think what I'd like to do is, and I'll make sure I run it by everyone, is make the recommendation to, I guess it's to Debbie, that we've talked about it. We just have that one remaining concern about the color and the shade of gray, but that otherwise we support the changes that have been made in this set of drawings.
Yeah, so basically, if you guys are okay with the changes, I will just send a memo to the town board and let them know that the Historic Preservation Board accepts these changes and is okay to move forward with the design as proposed right now, with the exception that you guys want to take a look at the color samples for the siding.
I think we should also thank Bergman or Barrow or both for listening to us.
Yeah, for sure.
They, you know,
Now, and
they
this,
really responded.
right, and this will be a building like I would be looking forward to see built.
Okay, thank you. Our only other item for this evening is an update on the barn. Now, both Shannon and I were unable to go to the last barn meeting, but I also understood that there wasn't a lot that happened. But Shannon, maybe update on what
Sure.
you know.
So like Tom said, we unfortunately both missed the meeting, but it was recorded. So I was able to watch it back just to make sure that I had everything updated and could relay that to you guys. So that was the third meeting for the Clark Road Barn Committee. It took place on July 17th. The meeting mostly consisted of reporting updated information found that was requested at the previous meeting. This included inventory of barns in Penfield up to the year 1950. Town facilities and maintenance costs for lodges, town revenue numbers for lodges, and then just a little bit further, the historic preservation evaluation, really just distinguishing jargon, what the terms mean going into that a little bit further, just so everyone was on the same page. So they're continuing to gather information so that all the options can be fully evaluated and analyzed so that everyone is on the same page and has a full understanding. So one of the next things is working to get some construction costs, but that costs money to get those numbers. So I think that's kind of one of the next bigger steps. But the next meeting will be in September.
And I had left that question with Carrie Ivers with respect to what kind of funding that might be available to the barn committee to get these costs, because it's they're not going to be insignificant, and they're not budgeted anywhere. Just a couple of other things on the house that I neglected to say. When the time comes, which could be relatively soon, we are going to have to. This board is going to have to pass a resolution, if that's the right word, giving our approval for the demolition of the rest of the building, because the entire structure was part of the approved recognition whenever that was done years ago. So we have to say it's okay to tear down the rest of it and leave the house, protect the house. So we'll have to do that at some point. The other thing I was going to say is that and this is great that we have Barrow involved, when it comes time to go to work on the house, there's going to have to be some sort of a communication back through this group with respect to what they find and what they're going to do about it. So we're going to have to, as the project moves along, agree or disagree or make suggestions with respect to materials that they use, or whether something, we try to restore something versus rehab it. But it's premature to talk about it, but it's not premature to be thinking about how that's going to work.
So Eric Tate is the main contact person from the town to Bergman. So basically, he's the one point of contact to make it easy and clean. And then Eric lets me know, and he lets the town board know. So basically, it will be a relay of information as it comes.
When are they planning to start construction?
I'm not sure. So basically, the next steps are that we're going to give our approval of these plans to the town board, and then the town board presents a resolution to move forward and to fund Bergman creating architectural drawings. I believe that would be the next step.
So they may think about construction start in spring?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. And then they have to put the project out for bid to get a contractor and everything. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the timeline actually looks like for that, but I think we'll have more information probably at the next town board meeting.
Okay, any other comments, any other matters to bring to the board's attention? Do we have a motion in Dr. Pignato's absence for, so moved?
To adjourn.
To adjourn, and a second?
A second.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thanks, PCTV.